With the rumored Beetlejuice sequel and Beetlejuice the Musical's return to Broadway April 8th, now is a great time to look at the two genres side by side.
Beetlejuice?
Yes!
Beetlejuice?
Yes!
Welcome to The Rewind. Today, we'll be comparing both versions of Beetlejuice, the movie versus the musical. Before we begin, make sure to give this video a like and hit that subscribe button for good luck.
Die! You're all gonna die! You're all gonna die! I'll be your guy.
The characters. To no one's surprise, the musical is sure to look very different than the film we fondly remember. This includes the people portraying these characters, even the way they're written for a new generation. For starters, we have Otho. In the movie, Otho was an interior designer, but in the musical, he is a con man posing as a guru and life coach. In the film, the Maitlands are a mostly unremarkable couple with a few quirks, mostly competent at creating scares and standing their own against Beetlejuice, as portrayed by Michael Keaton. In the musical, they are much more hesitant and struggle to do convincing scares. This is a change that makes the Maitlands much more gullible and easier for Beetlejuice to take advantage of. While the Maitlands in the musical do have hopes of having children, they're less convincing as surrogate parents to Lydia than they are in the movie. The movie Maitlands are far more competent, while the musical Maitlands are far more silly and cartoonish, despite character development. In the musical, Emily Dietz is stated to be Lydia's recently deceased mother. In the movie, Winona Ryder's Lydia never mentions her birth mother. Emily Dietz is the main motivation for Lydia's obsession with death and her reason for wanting to visit the Netherworld. She is also the reason Charles is secretly sleeping with Delia. Emily never appears on stage, but has a lot of presence in the musical, even opening the whole show at her funeral. Juno is the Maitlands' helpful caseworker and Beetlejuice's old boss. But in the musical, she is the director of Netherworld Customs and Processing, as well as Beetlejuice's abusive demon mother. This plot twist in the musical is unexpected considering Juno was not evil in the original movie. There are many changes between Beetlejuice in the musical and Beetlejuice in the movie. In many ways, he's much darker and much more into murder, as well as more manipulative of Lydia. Yet, he is redeemed in the end. Beetlejuice in the musical is a much more complicated, negative, and even evil character, but also has more of an arc with becoming more sympathetic. His abusive mother Juno and his loneliness at being born dead add a sadness that wasn't there in the movie. He also undergoes a bigger arc in the musical when he finally gets to briefly experience what it's like to be alive after marrying Lydia.
Look at these jugs!
Motives and relationships. Although the characters are portrayed by new actors, the names and occupations remain the same as we remember. However, the motivations and relationships between some of these characters might be rewritten to make things a little more interesting. In the movie, Delia, played by Schitt's Creek's Catherine O'Hara, and Charles are married and Delia is Lydia's stepmother. In the musical, Delia is Lydia's life coach who is secretly sleeping with Charles, later becoming engaged. This change in the relationship increases the tension between Delia, Charles, and Lydia. While Delia is nicer and more attentive to Lydia in the musical, Lydia is very resistant because she's still grieving her mother's death. The change also accommodates how Charles wants to move on from Emily's death, which makes him seek a relationship with Delia. The film has Beetlejuice ask Lydia to marry him in the climax in exchange for his help, but they don't meet until near the end. The musical has Beetlejuice and Lydia meet much earlier on in Act 1 when Lydia reveals herself to be the only human who can see him. She summons Beetlejuice, allowing people to see him in the Act 1 finale. The beginning of Act 2 features the two living together happily without Charles or Delia scaring people off. While the two still manipulate each other in the musical, they still have more of a friendship. This aspect seems to borrow from the animated series Beetlejuice, where the two are best friends. The musical shows Beetlejuice's loneliness and how he wishes he could connect with people. Lydia even feels bad for his loneliness. This characterization deepens their relationship far more than in the movie, leading to the betrayal and an almost marriage.
How you doing, sweetie? Not good, but I'm a baby.
Story beats. Telling the same story can be exciting with a new format, but it might be boring to hear the exact same story told again. So yeah, it's only fair that the producers might want to add a bit of intrigue and mix up certain sequences and ideas. In Burton's darkly funny movie, the Maitlands' death is caused by swerving their car to avoid a dog on a covered bridge and drowning. While in the musical, they fall through the floorboards of the house. One of the main reasons behind this change is for practicality. In the movie, the Maitlands visit the Netherworld shortly after their death and receive the handbook for the recently deceased. In the musical, Beetlejuice burns the handbook before the Maitlands can see it, and the Maitlands don't enter the Netherworld until Act 2, after Beetlejuice agrees to stop exorcising Barbara and trap them there. The later appearance of the Netherworld increases the tension and adds to Lydia's character by giving her false hope that she could reunite with her dead mom in the afterlife, and then have her reevaluate her life after receiving advice from Miss Argentina about how life is worth living. The Netherworld also serves as the basis for Lydia and her father making up with each other.
That beautiful sound!
Well guys, that's gonna be it. What did you think of our list? Before you leave, don't forget to give this video a like and leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Check out these other videos from The Rewind, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of our future uploads.